How's it, Godzilla fans, Kaiju fans, collectors, and just general people of YouTube? This is Chanzilla1964 coming back to you with yet another figure review. This time we will be reviewing the Bandai Movie Monster Series Eva Unit 1 and Eva Unit 2. Okay, so jumping right into detail for these guys. Also, disclaimer, big disclaimer before I get into these guys' reviews. I have never watched Evangelion. I've only ever seen the Godzilla versus Evangelion ride or spectacular that happened at Japan Universal Studios, and that's kind of what I'm referencing off of, along with some pictures that I looked at online, because I kind of want to do a paint job for these guys, because as you see in a bit, they'll be missing some paint on the back of them. But getting into detail before I jump into the paint, for both Eva Unit 1 and Eva Unit 2, the detail work on these guys are phenomenal, from the detail work on their faces to the detail work on their bodies over here, with the different bolts and panels on their chest, as well as the different kind of creases and patterns going on over here that make up his body, the blades on his arms, and this kind of Jaeger-esque backpack or shoulder things over here. I mean, the detail work on the head alone is phenomenal, because this is the back of the head and it's a separate piece, which is really neat. So yeah, and then going into the detail work for Eva Unit 1's back over here, the detail work is very nicely done. It does leave some stuff to be desired in the middle over here, or they could have added some, like, I guess, inner suit detail, which I believe they have in the show. I might be wrong, but yeah, that's the only thing that I could really say about detail wise. Besides that, though, detail work is phenomenal on this guy. And then similar thing can be said for Eva Unit 2, where the detail for the head is really what the showcase is for this guy as well. In my opinion, this is honestly, in my opinion, the heads are the favorite parts of the figures for me, besides their unique designs, because the shoulder blades are different on this guy as well compared to Eva Unit 1. And then you have similar knee blades over here and similar feet. Detail work on the chest is done very nicely. And then the back, similar detail work on the back, and then similar deal over here, leaving some stuff to be desired, like the inner suit detailing over here for the inside of the legs. But again, that's just a small nitpick, because these are amazingly detailed figures and really do bring these anime characters to life, in my opinion. Now, moving on to paint, as you guys can see, the front parts of the Eva units are painted very nicely, and they're done very, very well, in my opinion. Even though mine has a little scuff of red over here, which may have been something during packaging or shipping, but that's okay. But yeah, the paint work is done very nicely for the Eva units, from the purple to the green to the blacks and the grays and the yellows. On Eva Unit 1, with the eyes being very nicely painted, including the eye detail over here, where the black is painted on the inside of the cracks, I guess you can call them. But, and then for this one, Eva Unit 2, the eyes are very nicely painted as well, with some red areas being painted in, I guess, for the eyes on this side. They didn't skimp out on the orange paint over here, although they skimped out for some of it on the chin, which is totally fine, because I didn't know until I had a look at the picture. But speaking of the chin, the underside of the chin is painted very nicely for Eva Unit 2. And then the front body of him is painted very nicely with the reds, the whites, the orange yellows going on over here. And this very nice kind of brownish red detail. Sorry, got out of focus. Brownish red detail going on right here. It's done very nicely. But now all the praise to the Eva unit paints on the front, but when we get to the back, there's absolutely no paint, except for the base color, and except for the back of the arms. But really all the Bandai needed to do was paint the insides of these parts black for both of them, and they could have called it a day. But they didn't do that, which I guess the Eva units have a sort of Mothra thing going on, where The top of the wings are painted, but the bottom of the wings aren't. These guys, the front of them are painted, back of them ain't. For both of them. Now, does this take away from the aesthetic that these figures bring? No, not necessarily. Only maybe a bit when you look at the back of them, but most of the times you're going to have them, if you're going to leave them on a shelf, facing the front. So it's not really a big deal, but if you're going to be playing with them wise, also not a big deal. But it's just one of those things where if Bandai went the little extra mile, we could have had the perfect Eva Unit 1, Unit 2 Bandai vinyl figures. Moving on to articulation for these guys. The articulation for these guys are the exact same, pretty much. I'll start with Eva Unit 1. So Eva Unit 1's articulation here. Arms move. Legs do not move. The calf parts over here move, but they are not supposed to be moving, I feel, but they can, just to be adjusted a little bit. And then something surprising I found in both Eva units is their heads can move. We have head articulation on this guy, which is freaking amazing. So yeah, I'm glad Bandai decided to put the head articulation in on these guys, because when we have the upcoming Godzilla versus Evangelion, Shin Godzilla versus Evangelion stuff coming out, it's going to be epic, and these guys got to look back and forth, if you know what I mean. But moving on to Eva Unit 2, same articulation as Eva Unit 1, arms move 360, the thighs over your move, or the calves over your move, so you can adjust the feet, and the head can move as well. So articulation, can I say epic or what? Right? Now, moving on a size comparison for these guys, there's only really one Godzilla, a monster that they faced off with, or two actually, but that would be Shin Godzilla. Okay, so obviously, looking at this right now, they are too big. Too big to figure-wise to be standing up against Shin Godzilla, because Shin Godzilla should be like here. They're like his chest level. But I mean, play-wise, this works very nicely, because I mean, it's two robots up against Shin Godzilla. It's got some Pacific Rim vibes, and like I said, figure-wise, this fits nicely. But if you're going for accuracy or Toho film accuracy, this ain't gonna cut it. Although it becomes even worse when you're bringing their second opponent that they fought, the Shin Ghidorah, which is a short boy, shorter than Godzilla. So obviously this one wouldn't work, although like I said, for all play purposes, this sizing works, because at least they're not humongously big and they're not ridiculously small. Even though honestly, if they're like a bit smaller, like as small as the what's a good figure example size wise, like if they're in the 4-inch range, I think that they would work perfectly with this kind of sizing for the 6-inch Bandai vinyls. But either way, I'm still glad these guys got Bandai vinyls, and they play-wise, they scale very well. Now, here may be another anime figure that you guys may have in your collection, because I know this is an anime figure that I have in my collection that's not Godzilla Ultima. But I have the Colossal Titan figure from Attack on Titan, just scaling up against these guys, and I am not 100% sure as to how these guys are supposed to scale up, or what the size of them are supposed to be, because what I'm thinking right now is that this guy should actually be a little taller than this guy. I might be wrong, and it might be this way where he's taller than them, but yeah, let me know in the comment section down below if it's the Colossal Titan is bigger than the Eva units, or if the Eva units are bigger than the Colossal Titan. And who do you think would win? Because personally, I think the Eva units would win, with them going up against angels and stuff like that. Also Shin Godzilla, which I believe the Attack Titan, and I mean, the Colossal Titan has never done it. I mean, but yeah, but the Colossal Titan's a big figure, can't even fit in the camera frame. But anyways, what I recommend you guys buy these figures. If you're a Godzilla fan, I wouldn't really recommend you guys buy these figures unless you're like a fan of the Shin Godzilla. Universal Studios ride, or the new Shin Godzilla stuff coming out in Japan this year or next year, whenever it's supposed to come out. Or if you're a fan of the Evangelion show, I think you guys should definitely pick up these figures. They're definitely worth it. But yeah, it's not so worth it if you're just a fan of Godzilla. Just saying, unless you're a very specific Shin Godzilla fan. But yeah, I mean, personally, I picked them up because of Shin Godzilla, and I really like these guys, and it's kind of pulling me a little more towards watching Evangelion, even though I don't necessarily watch anime all that much, except for Attack on Titan and Bleach, really, and well, obviously, the Godzilla anime, I forget what, Godzilla SP anime, yeah, there you go, singular point, but yeah, that'll do it for this review, guys. If you guys like this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button down below. If you guys like what you see on the channel, be sure to subscribe. And if you guys want to leave a comment because I missed something, or if you guys want to correct me on my Evangelion sizing or history or size or colors or whatever, be sure to leave me a comment down below. And yeah, until next time, guys, this has been Chanzilla 1964 saying keep an eye out for the Bandai MMS series Varan review, which will be coming out very soon. And I'll see you guys next time. Okay, peace.